Hi, family. My name is Key, and thank you so much for joining me on my journey. So, I found that there are keys in self development that sort of unlock your path to a new life, to a new you, so to speak. So, today I wanted to give you a couple tips in unlocking that path for yourself and along your journey of self development. So, let's get right into it. So, the first tip that I have is to truly see yourself clearly and acknowledge your past. Take time for yourself, truly by yourself, not with your friends, not with family, not with TV, not with TikTok, not with Instagram, not with Netflix. Take time truly by yourself and ask yourself questions about your likes, your dislikes. Who do you think you are? Who do you identify as? How do you identify yourself? How do you describe yourself? What do you truly want in this life? And do you love who you are today or do you not? And if you don't love yourself, then why don't you? If you don't love the space you're in, why don't you? What would make you love the space that you're in? What would make you love life? Ask yourself those questions. Really looking back, even as far as your childhood, and acknowledging or taking note of any patterns that you see. Because there are always patterns from when you were wee high to now. My pattern was quitting and never following through with things. So I'll start with I started ballet and contemporary dance when I was 8 years old. And told my mother I didn't want to do it anymore because I didn't want to get up on Saturdays. I'd rather go play with my cousins than go to dance class. In high school, I started track. Didn't want to go to practice anymore. Stopped. Started cheerleading. Didn't want to do that anymore. Stopped. Started a clothing boutique. Didn't want to do that anymore. Felt like it was a lot of competition and the market was oversaturated. Stopped. Hair company. Started that. Stopped. Lashes. Started that. Stopped. A pattern of quitting before things even really took off the ground. Because whenever I found it, I didn't find it enjoyable anymore, or I felt like I prioritized other things, I would quit. And this is a pattern, like I said, from childhood. So take note and think back all the way from your childhood of different patterns that you notice always show up in your life. And this pattern even showed up for me in my love life. Like when things were no longer fun, once that honeymoon phase was over, once real work had to be put in, I ran. No matter how much I really cared for the person, if it was too much work, I was out. Like, it was no convincing me. Like, it became the relationship became unattractive for me once it came point in time where real work had to be put in. Moral of the story, breaking cycles in your life starts with you becoming aware of who you are, who you want to be, who you can be, and taking those small steps that you can take to becoming your higher version. The second tip I have is having grace and patience with yourself. Nothing happens overnight. Nothing. I don't care how people try to promote overnight success. There's no such thing. They may show you, oh yeah, it took me a month to make $20,000 from this business. But what they're not showing you is the schooling they had in marketing and business. The people they had helping them, the time they took to study, being able to market a business, advertise it, being able to set up production, etc. They're not showing you all of that backhand work that did not happen in a month. They're only showing you the product, the produce of the immediate work that they've done. Love you. Sorry about that. Motherhood. So again, nothing happens overnight. And the more you try to press yourself and go hard on yourself, the harder it is to change. So let's say you have a New Year's resolution of losing weight and working out and being consistent with it this time. Because the last few times you tried it, you wasn't consistent. So this time you're going to be consistent. So in January, you're going hard. You go to the gym 4 times a week. All right, now come February, you're going about 3 times a week. Then March, you're going about 2 times a week. Then come April, you don't even know what the inside of a gym looks like, and you're back to eating the junk food that got you to the place where you started. Right? And this is because you went too hard in the beginning. You did not have any grace with yourself. So you always end up right back where you started. You're trying to go super fast into something that you have to slowly work your way into. So while it is possible to go cold turkey, let's say vegetarian, you change up your diet, you became a gym rat. While that is possible, for most people, that's not really realistic when going from one lifestyle to another. So you have to slowly progress, slowly make those changes in your life. Start maybe by going to the gym once a week, then you work up to twice a week, then you work up to etc. Instead of trying to go hard, because that's when you see yourself fall off by April, and you started this in January. I saw a video where someone was stating that they were trying to lose weight, and where they started was just by putting their gym clothes out by their bed the night before. Started off doing that. That was so that they can get their brain in a motion of, okay, this is what we do when we go to the gym. Putting their clothes out. Then that's when they started, like I said, going that once a week. Then twice a week, then 3 times a week. And slowly it becomes a habit, so then it becomes easier to change your lifestyle into that. It's hard, especially if you have commitment issues, to be able to commit yourself to changing your life when you already have bad habits that you've been doing for majority of your life.
I mean, the pieces of, yeah.
Sorry, I got a package. So yeah, like I was saying, when you already have bad habits that are built up, somewhere in your mind, even if you know that they are bad and not necessarily good for you, you're comfortable. You've gotten comfortable with your lifestyle. You've gotten comfortable with eating junk food. You've gotten comfortable with toxic relationships. That's why I recommend slow progression to your self-development goals, whether that may be physical, mental, spiritual, etc. And take note of each step that you take. Even if your steps aren't happening at the rate that you would like them to, acknowledge it. Acknowledge every little milestone so that you can see the progression. And be patient with yourself, but not too lenient. Because if you're too lenient on yourself, then you will stay in that comfortable place forever. The third tip I have is cutting people out and things out. That saying, you are who you hang around, is so true. So true. You definitely are who you hang around. So that's why I recommend, when you're trying to develop a different life for yourself, a different self, you have to cut out people who are no longer aligned with you, and who are not doing things that you see the higher version of yourself doing. And yes, it will hurt cutting people out of your life, especially if you already have bonds with these people and you spent a lot of time with them and you've known them forever. But if someone is no longer adding to your happiness, adding to your peace, adding to your sense of fulfillment in life, they gotta go. I was always one to give chance after chance after chance if I truly liked or cared or loved someone. But once I really got to know myself and see a clear vision of what I want for my life, it was easier for me to clearly see who belongs in my life, in my bubble, in my energy, and who does not. And if they don't, out the door. I had to change my shirt. That bodysuit was just annoying. Okay, so how I go about it, basically being able to tell who should be cut off. One of the ways that I go about it, if someone does something I feel crossed the boundary, makes me uncomfortable, or just is out of alignment with how I know that I should be treated, if I care for the person, I will speak on it, bring it to their attention one time. And from that conversation, how they handle me expressing how whatever they did affected me, I will be able to assess from there whether this person is someone who gets the privilege of being in my life. Because yes, babe, it is a privilege for someone to be in your life and to be acquainted with such high, positive, vibrating, divine energy, okay? So, if I decide, okay, I communicated this, they received it well, they didn't invalidate my feelings, they didn't shut me down, they didn't diminish the way their actions affected me, they didn't gaslight me, and that person doesn't do it again, we're good, no worries. You get another opportunity to stay in my life. Now, if the person receives the information positively, but turns around and does the same thing again, you're out. You gotta go. I'm no longer wasting my time on people who already show me how they feel about me. I see it as if someone really cares for you and you express to them how something they did hurt you, they will do everything in their power to make sure they do not do that again because they know that it hurts you. If someone loves you, why would they intentionally hurt you? Now, sometimes people have subconscious issues and things that they haven't dealt with, so they don't even realize that certain things are a pattern for them. They just unconsciously are doing things. A lot of people are out here living like that. And you don't want someone around you and in your space and in your energy when you're trying to develop yourself that is unconscious about their actions and the way the things that they do affect people. And it may not also be that someone does something to hurt or harm you for you to know that they're not aligned for the next part of your life. It could be not being interested in the same things anymore. All your friends could want to do is gossip about celebrities and you could care less about the drama. You just feeling exhausted whenever someone leaves from around you. You used to be able to talk to this person for hours and now you're barely able to even keep a conversation. To me, that's a clear-cut sign that this person is no longer supposed to be in your life. At least not for this part of your journey and where you're at in it. For me, it was a feeling around about 7 months into my journey where I just started to feel very out of place. Like, out of place around family, out of place around people that I've been around my whole life, friends that I had. I just felt like I don't connect with these people anymore. I don't belong with these people. Like, something's just off. Like, it just felt awkward. I felt awkward and felt like the odd one out and things like, but even though I felt that way, I didn't really care to fit in or to adjust how I now am to fit in with them. Because I saw it as, okay, if I'm feeling this way, to me that was a sign that I'm not meant to fit in with them. I'm not meant to be around these people anymore, at least at this time in my journey and where I'm at with it. Now, if they were to come back into my life, great. If not, they're just not meant for this next level. And that's okay. Of course, it was difficult, cutting out people that I loved. But I knew deep down that they no longer served a purpose in my life, and I could not serve a purpose in their life until they came to, until they woke up. Because until then, everything that I said about healing, about growing, about self-development, about evolving will go in one ear and out the other, because they're not in a place to be able to listen to it, understand it, comprehend it, and really take it in. And I just let it be that. And honestly, that's all you can do. The fourth and final tip that I have in self-development is to get clear on what you want, who you want to be, and setting clear standards and boundaries for your life. If you don't know what you want or who you want to be, then how can you ever achieve it? I recommend writing down, aka scripting, exactly how you want your life to look and a person that you want to be / embody. From health to how you are physically, to how much money you make per month, year, whatever, how your relationships look, and that's romantic, platonic, friendships, family, etc. How does the higher version of you act, speak, and just exist? What does a day in the life of your higher self look like? Get clear on these things, write them down, put together a little mini book with pictures and your descriptions on your laptop, phone, however it works best for you, and review this every day so it becomes sketched in your brain and no longer will be an out there kind of thing, or one day I'll have this, and it becomes your reality and the person that you develop into. Know your standards and your boundaries. Know what you're allowing in your life and what you're not allowing in your life anymore. Know what you're going for and what you're not going for. Now, this may get tricky when dealing with people who have been in your life for a while because they're used to the old you. They're used to the things that you used to accept. They're used to the way that you used to do things for them or whatever the case may be. And I feel like once you become clear on it, on your new boundaries and standards, you can no longer let things slide. Because then it becomes not a standard or a boundary, it just becomes something that I would like for people not to do, but then if they do it, it's okay. We're not doing it. Stand strong on it. You have to. I also recommend writing down your standards and your boundaries and reviewing those daily as well so that they become sketched in your brain and you will know exactly it's not going to be that easy of just being able to hold on to your standards and your boundaries, especially if you've been letting people slide or walk all over you or you've been a people pleaser all of your life. It's not going to be a 1-2, I wrote this down, it's not going to be that easy. So that's why I said I recommend reviewing it daily and practicing it, even in the simplest of ways. Respect your standards and your boundaries and respect how you feel, how your body feels. While, like I said, the people that have been in your life, they may get a little bent out of shape with your new standards and boundaries, but how I see it is like the people in your life will either fall in line or get left behind. And that's just period. Never second guess or put aside your boundaries for anybody. Never let someone cross that line more than once. And this goes back to the cutting people off topic. You have to stand firm on your standards and your boundaries. And if someone crosses that line, communicate that. If they crossed it a little too far, like, baby, you're tripping. Straight cut out. Straight cut them off. But, if they just, put a little toe over the line, I feel like then it's worth, if you care about them, of course, this is your discretion. But for me, anyway, if they just did a little boop over the line, okay, we can have a conversation about it again, see how they retain that information, and then I can decide how to move forward from there. But if they cross that line again, then they just exiled themselves right up out of your life. And that's just showing you that you didn't need that person in your life anyway. It's easier said than done, having standards and boundaries in a relationship with somebody you care about and being able to truly stand on them. But you have to. Because you do not want to look back and resent them for crossing your boundaries that you let them cross. Alright, family, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that there was something in this video that was useful for you. If so, please comment, like, subscribe, and share this to other people. And thank you so much for joining me on my journey. My name is Key. See you on Sunday.